Hello, everyone. In this lesson, we will work on filtering our logs. For this, we use a library called Debug. First, we need to install it in the backend, along with its types. And let's install the types as well. Let's start integrating it. The Debug library allows you to determine which logs to output to the console or elsewhere based on the n variable. Let's first configure our n into a file so it's ready to accept this, and then we'll go over how it works. We need to add this line debug here, and don't forget to add it to n in the example. And also, as usual, when adding something to n in the file, we also ask our nnints to validate it. Alright, added the debug variable to en in the file. How will debug determine which logs to display and which not? This line is the defining rule. Technically, we could write it like this as well. We don't have idiom in the logs. It is implied that we describe our existing tags here through such constructs. So now, I'll show it first in the logger file, and then we'll analyze how it works here. In the logger file, we need to set up these security mechanisms. That is, if info is called, we need to check if we want to output this to the console. For this, we use the debug library itself and check like so. Why do I append to our usual tag here? Their variation, for example, iconic, because many other libraries use debug. And if we didn't tag our logs with some prefix and simply set up to display everything, we'd get logs from a bunch of other libraries that we absolutely don't need. Therefore, we need to set some unique prefix, ideally one that doesn't exist in other libraries. So, that's why I just added this prefix to everything, and here it checks whether the log is enabled or not. A string ends up here. For example, in this case, a line like this would end up here. How does it check whether we should show it or not? It goes and looks at the env variable debug based on our conditions. It sees that we asked to input a colon and anything afterwards, and this line matches this rule. Then it says that a dash means it's an exception, and we don't want to output our logs that start with Prisma and then anything else, because we have too many Prisma logs, for example. We also have too many logs from TRPC query success. They constantly pop up when we start browsing our site and make some requests. Accordingly, we can configure what should be displayed with such a rule, and we add the same rule to the error. Alright, let's see how it works with our config. So let's say the backend, and we see we got a message about the successful launch of the application with Express because it passed through our filters. This filter was passed, and none of the negative ones excluded it. Let's take and visit some page and like an idea, and dislike an idea. What do we see? We have TRPC mutation success twice, once for like and another time for dislike. Accordingly, we did not trigger the Prisma logs. For example, you want to enable Prisma logs high. Yes, and you do not want to enable Prisma logs low. Then you can do it like this. Go into the env file again and specify to exclude only low, : and you don't want to exclude the rest. Let's check how it works in this case. Page refreshed. And here we see that Prisma high queries reach us, but Prisma low ones do not. Accordingly, you can tweak this config as you like and display what you need at the moment. The most optimal, I think, is how it was initially set. Let's do it like this here. That's quite enough, but you can customize it. All right, we learned to filter logs, and we can move on. Thank you all. See you soon.